Okay, hey everyone, this is a little bit of a different video for me. I decided to try and make lotion. So I'm going to try and make a sort of a test small batch. And first of all, I have to thank Susan Nichols. And if you aren't familiar with her blog, go over to Swift Craft Monkey or Google Swift Craft Monkey, and I'll put the link down below. But she is fantastic. She has an ebook called Lotion Making 101, which is just awesome. Tons of information, recipes, guidance. So if you're interested in making lotions, I would highly recommend go over there. She sells her ebook for, I don't know, nothing practically. And the money goes to help out her some of her groups that she helps teens with. So it's an awesome cause. It's a great reference. Lots of information. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, all that said, let's go over kind of what we'll be doing. Now I'm going to break up this video so you don't have to watch, because a lot of this is not exactly the most exciting. There are 3 phases to making lotion. There is a water phase, an oil phase, and then a cool down phase. I have measured out all of my ingredients very precisely, and the water phase and the oil phase I am going to put into a double boiler and bring them to 70 degrees Celsius, then hold them there for 20 minutes. After they're there for 20 minutes, I'll bring them out and put them into a bowl and mix them until the temperature cools down to 45 degrees Celsius, at which time I will add my cool down phase elements. Temperature control is pretty important for the lotion making because we're trying to make an emulsion of water and oils. And lots of different elements you can put into your recipe to get different kinds of quality for your lotion. This is a pretty small batch because this is the first time I've ever made it, so I'm just trying to see how it all goes. First of all, I started with just some mason jars because they're going to be put into heat, so something that can hold the heat. And this is what I'll put them in eventually to mix them up with my stick mixer, my stick blender. I took 91% alcohol and sprayed everything down. I sprayed the bowl, I sprayed the stick blender, I sprayed the interiors of my mason jars, and let everything evaporate so that I stay very sterile, because it's very important, because you're really trying to prevent organisms from growing in this lotion. So being sterile and having a good approach to this is the first way to do that. Bringing these to 70 degrees Celsius and holding them for 20 minutes is the second way to do that, because that will kill off all the bad things. And the third way I'm going to talk about in a second. But let's go over the recipe. So in my water phase, I have 268 grams of water and 12 grams of vegetable glycerin, and that's in this big one. In my oil phase, I have 36 grams of rice bran oil, 16 grams of shea butter, 16 grams of babassu oil, 8 grams of jojoba oil, 12 grams of stearic acid, and 22 grams of my emulsifier, which what I'm using for an emulsifier is emulsifying wax. This one's called Soft and Silky. It's from Crafter's Choice. And this is the thing that will help your water and your oil like each other so that you can eventually have a lotion that stays together. In my cool down phase, we're adding the elements that are not heat sensitive. That are heat sensitive that we want to sort of keep out until the later part. So I have vitamin E, which is 4 grams, and I have a preservative called Liquid Germal Plus. And this is 2 grams of this. Now, this is this is the third thing. This is what will prevent bad organisms from growing in your lotion. Now, I know people get into making handcrafted things because they want all natural products, but you have to use a preservative. If you're going to make this for yourself, fine, do whatever you want. Make the lotion however you want. Use it for yourself. Totally fine. Make it without a preservative if that's what you want. But if you're going to give this to other people, you really, really need a preservative to prevent from those nasty things from growing. I know there's probably people out there who don't want to use preservatives at all. I get it. Please don't scold me. I've read some of that conversation. I am choosing to add a preservative to my lotion to make it last. The vitamin E is not a preservative, but it should help to extend the life of the oils themselves. So I'm adding the vitamin E to sort of, again, keep the liquid, the lotion, good for a longer period of time. But it is not a preservative, okay? It is an antioxidant, I think is what it's called. And then lastly is my fragrance, which I have 4 grams of fragrance. I'm doing a little bit of a custom blend. So these are all essential oils. This is a combination of lavender 4042, rosemary, and clove bud essential oil. And it smells really good. It's sort of floral, but it's got this nice sort of undertone to it, so it's not too girly. I think it'll be a nice sort of unisex scent, as long as you don't mind a unisex scent that has sort of a floral note to it. Okay. Okay, so that's really the recipe. I have a double boiler on the stove. I'm not going to film that because what I'm going to do now is take these and just put them in the double boiler, bring them up to 70 degrees Celsius, hold them there for 20 minutes, and then I'll come back. Okay? So stay tuned. Okay, so the water phase and the oil phase have been in a double boiler for 20 minutes after they reached 70 degrees Celsius. Now, I'll be honest, I had a hard time keeping them right at 70. The water actually ended up around 85 degrees Celsius, and this was around 80, the water. So I don't know if it matters keeping them, right at 70, or as long as they're above 70, it's okay. But so that's what happened. All right. I switched containers since this is only going to be a small amount. I'm going to use this Pyrex measuring cup because I think my bowl will be too big. So, all right, I'm going to take I'm taking my oils, my oil phase, and adding it to the container. Okay. Alright, and now I'm going to add the water into the oil. And that is exactly what is supposed to happen. It's creamy. We're having the emulsification. I don't know if you can see that. The emulsification started through heat. And now we're going to do some mixing. Okay, so this mixing is going to take place. I'm just going to keep mixing it for a little while. We're looking for the temperature to get below 45 degrees Celsius. This is looking really good so far. So I'm gonna stop the video because all I'm gonna be doing is just mixing it and checking the temperature. And then when it's below, when it's around 45 degrees Celsius, we'll be back on. So stick around for after the break. Okay, so I've been stirring and stirring and stirring, and I'm right around 45 degrees Celsius. So now I'm going to add my cool down elements. So I have my vitamin E and my preservative, my Germol Plus. So I'm going to add those in. Vitamin E also has nice skin benefits to it, so it's great to add for its its oil extending properties, but it also has really good skin loving stuff as well. So that's another good reason to add it. Okay, and this is the Germol Plus liquid, which is the preservative. Okay, and then after I'm done adding these, I'm going to add the fragrance next. I'm going to stir it again, and then it should go into bottles. Okay, and this is my fragrance. So this is essential oils of rosemary, lavender, and clove. That smells so good. Okay, and I should have mentioned I use these oils because I'm going for a light to medium kind of lotion that would be for for hands and body. And so now I'm just mixing to add those last 3 ingredients that I added just now. Okay, I think that's it. All right, so I have these amber bottles, and I'm going to pour my lotion into them, and I also have these caps. I'm not going to put the cap on because the liquid is still hot, so I'm just going to fill them and then let them cool.
Dozens are dead after a bomb blast at a shopping center in Pakistan. A car carrying explosives went off while people were shopping at a historic bazaar in the city of Peshawar. The blast leveled several shops and vehicles. At least 38 people were killed there. The city borders tribal regions dominated by the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Here in the U.S., the Agriculture Department says 524 schools out of about 100,000 have dropped out of the federally subsidized National School Lunch Program. New standards have been met with some grumbling from school nutrition officials who say they are difficult and expensive to follow. There are also some conservatives who say the government should not be dictating what kids eat. Supporters say better nutrition equals healthier kids. The Celtic Classic is back. More health, competition, and quick band music in just a moment. Stay with us.
I actually didn't calculate out the volume for these bottles. I just sort of guessed. but there is a way to calculate out your volume. Okay, it's already thickening up some, but you could see it was very pourable there for a little while, but it's already thickening up. I'm just gonna top this off, and then I have a little bit left over, and I think I'm just gonna pour it in a little plastic container, just so it cools down. When it's cool, I'll do the ending just to show you sort of the thickness of it and how it works as a lotion. So right after the break. Bye. Okay, everyone. So it's been about 20 minutes, I'd say. So I have these smaller bottles, and they're still kind of warm. So I'm not going to put the caps on just yet because you don't want to get condensation forming in here, which will dilute your lotion. So I'm going to leave these open for, I might leave them open overnight, we'll see. But then when they're all finished, these will go on, and these caps have a nice little thing. These are pretty squishy bottles, they're plastic, so it should be easy to get the lotion out. And I have a little left over, so I don't know if you can see. It's nice and creamy, and this is pretty cool. But I think even this can stand to sit overnight to get to its sort of final consistency. But I think this is pretty close. So I tried a little bit. A little, maybe 5-10 minutes ago or so. So it's nice. It's sort of mousse, like a mousse consistently, like chocolate mousse. So it's got that kind of consistency. It's pretty smooth. It feels very creamy. It's not, like a body butter. So it's thinner than that. I was going for a little bit, I guess, lighter of a lotion, and this is sort of a medium lotion, I'd say. So it does have some thickness to it, but anyway, so taking it off. So it works in pretty quickly. It does, I will say, it does have kind of a greasy feel. I know that has such a bad, like, negative connotation to it, but I mean, it's a lotion, so it feels slippery, it feels silky, it has sort of a greasy quality to it. So it's not ultra light, so it doesn't get absorbed right away, but within a minute or two, especially if you're kind of rubbing your hands together, it gets absorbed. And it leaves, I've only tried it just now, but it leaves them feeling pretty nice, pretty moisturized, and kind of silky. The fragrance on it is really good. Lavender, rosemary, and just that hint of clove that's behind it smells so good. But anyway, okay, so that's my first lotion. Thanks again to Susan Nichols for all of her information for her ebook, Lotion Making 101, and go to her website, Swiftcraft Monkey. Google it, and I'll put the link below. Go check her out. She's awesome. And comments, questions, leave them below. Okay, thanks for watching. Check back for more soap and now lotion videos. All right, bye.